The emergency room doors burst open at 11:32 p.m., and Dr. Sarah Chen barely looked up from her clipboard. Another casualty from the training exercise at Fort Mason, they'd said. Just another soldier. She'd seen dozens tonight, sprains, cuts, exhaustion. Nothing she couldn't handle in her sleep after 15 years of emergency medicine. "Bed 7, the nurse called out, wheeling in a stretcher. "John Martinez, 38, collapsed during night drills. Vitals are stable, but he's disoriented." Sarah glanced at the man as they transferred him to the bed. Unremarkable, she thought. Average height, close-cropped dark hair streaked with early gray, weathered face. The name tape on his uniform read simply Martinez J. His rank insignia showed Staff Sergeant, respectable but not unusual. His dog tags clinked softly as the nurses adjusted his position. "Staff Sergeant Martinez, I'm Dr. Chen. Can you tell me what happened?" She shined a penlight into his eyes, checking his pupils. He blinked slowly, his voice hoarse. I don't remember. We were running the obstacle course. Then nothing. Standard confusion following a collapse. Sarah nodded, making notes. "Any medical conditions I should know about? Medications?" "No, ma'am. Clean bill of health last month." His hands trembled slightly against the white sheets. Something nagged at her, though she couldn't place what. Maybe it was the way his eyes darted to the door every few seconds, or how his breathing quickened when footsteps passed in the hallway. Combat stress, perhaps. She'd seen it before. "I'm ordering a full workup. CT scan, blood work. We'll figure out what's going on." She patted his shoulder reassuringly and pulled the curtain. At 1:15 a.m., Sarah was reviewing Martinez's scans when her colleague, Dr. Patel, leaned over her shoulder. "Interesting case?" "Not really. Everything's coming back clean. No signs of stroke, no cardiac issues, blood sugar normal. I'm thinking severe dehydration combined with exhaustion. The Fort Mason boys have been pushing hard lately," Patel mused. "Some joint operation thing? Very hush-hush." Sarah was about to respond when her pager buzzed. Martinez was awake and asking to speak with her. When she returned to bed 7, she found him sitting upright, more alert than before. But his jaw was clenched, and there was something new in his eyes. Fear. "Doctor, I need to make a phone call." "It's urgent." "Of course. There's a phone by your—" "No." His voice dropped to a whisper. "I need a secure line. I need you to call a specific number for me. Please. I know this sounds crazy, but lives depend on it." Sarah's instinct screamed that something was wrong. This wasn't standard paranoia or confusion. This was something else. "Staff Sergeant, you've been through a traumatic event." Sometimes our minds— "I'm not having a breakdown, doctor." His eyes locked onto hers with startling intensity. "I'm asking you to trust me. Just this once." "Make the call." Against her better judgment, Sarah felt herself nodding. He recited a number, a Washington, D.C. area code, and she dialed it on her personal cell phone, putting it on speaker. It rang twice before a crisp voice answered. "Secure line 7. Authentication required." Sarah froze. Martinez spoke clearly. "Midnight Phoenix. Authorization code Delta Sierra 77 Tango. Priority Alpha." There was a pause that seemed to stretch forever. Then the voice changed, becoming urgent. "Commander, we've been trying to reach you for 3 hours. What's your status?" "Commander?" Sarah's eyes widened. Martinez— no, whoever this man really was— closed his eyes briefly. Compromised. "I'm at St. Mary's Hospital civilian facility. The collapse wasn't natural. Someone got to me during the exercise. I need immediate extraction and a security team on this location. Dr. Sarah Chen is with me. She's not involved." "Understood. ETA 12 minutes. Commander, the summit is in 6 hours. Without you, I know. Just get me out of here." He ended the call and looked at Sarah, who stood frozen, her mind racing. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I'm sorry you're involved in this. But I had no choice." "Who are you?" Sarah's voice came out as barely a whisper. "My name is actually David Serrano." The name Martinez was for the training cover. "I'm a defense intelligence commander. I've been working undercover for 3 months, embedded with regular troops while coordinating a classified operation." He sat up straighter despite his obvious weakness. "Tonight someone tried to assassinate me. They poisoned my water supply, made it look like heat exhaustion." Sarah's medical mind kicked in. "The blood work. It came back clean, but if I knew what to look for— a synthetic compound. virtually undetectable unless you're specifically screening for it. It causes temporary neural disruption, mimics a collapse. I should have been dead within hours, but my metabolism is different, enhanced, part of the program. Before Sarah could process this revelation, the lights in the emergency room flickered. Once, twice. Then the backup generators kicked in, bathing everything in an eerie red glow. "That's not good," Serrano muttered, swinging his legs off the bed. He swayed but steadied himself against the rail. "They've found me. Doctor, you need to get everyone out of this wing, now. I'm not leaving my patients." "You don't understand. These people don't leave witnesses." His voice was sharp, but not unkind. "Please!" Sarah's pager exploded with alerts. The nurse's station was calling frantically. She ran to the hallway and saw smoke beginning to seep from the ventilation system. Not real smoke, tear gas. Her training took over. "Code Silver! Evacuate the ER! Everyone out through the west exit!" Nurses and orderlies sprang into action, grabbing patients, wheeling beds toward the exits. Serrano appeared beside her, moving with surprising speed for someone who'd been unconscious an hour ago. "The extraction team will come through the roof. We need to get to the stairwell on the north side. Can you lead the way?" Sarah didn't hesitate. They ran through the chaos, her white coat billowing behind her. The hospital she knew like the back of her hand had become a maze of shadows and confusion. Behind them, she heard shouting, words in a language she didn't recognize. "Faster," Serrano urged, his hand on her elbow guiding her around a corner. They burst into the stairwell at 2:43 a.m., just as footsteps echoed below them. Serrano pulled her upward instead, taking stairs 3 at a time. Sarah's lungs burned, but she kept pace, driven by pure adrenaline. On the roof, the night air hit her like a slap. The city lights sparkled below, oblivious to the drama unfolding in this small corner of the world. Then she heard it, the rhythmic thump of helicopter blades. A black helicopter descended, wind whipping Sarah's hair across her face. Armed figures in tactical gear rappelled down, forming a protective circle. One of them approached Serrano with a medical kit. "Commander, good to see you alive, sir." Serrano turned to Sarah, and in his eyes, she saw gratitude mixed with regret. "Thank you, Doctor, for trusting me, for believing, will you be okay?" It was all she could think to ask. The summit happens in hours. Peace talks between 3 nations on the brink of war. I'm the only one who knows the real players, the real threats. If I don't make it, he didn't finish. He didn't need to. "Then you'll make it," Sarah said firmly, her doctor's authority returning. "And you'll see your own physician immediately. That poison is still in your system." A ghost of a smile crossed his face. "Yes, ma'am." They lifted him toward the helicopter. As Sarah watched him disappear into the night sky, hospital security finally reached the roof, followed by local police. She would spend the next hours answering questions, filling out reports, trying to explain the unexplainable. 3 days later, a news brief mentioned successful peace negotiations at an undisclosed location. No names were given. No heroes acknowledged. But Sarah knew. She'd saved more than one life that night. She'd saved thousands who would never know how close they'd come to war. A small package arrived at her home that evening. Inside was a simple note. "Sometimes the most important patients look the most ordinary. Thank you for seeing beyond the uniform." DS beneath it was a medal, unofficial and unmarked, but Sarah understood its weight. She placed it in her desk drawer, a reminder that in her line of work, you never really knew who you were saving. And perhaps that was the point. Every patient deserved her best, whether they were a staff sergeant or a commander, ordinary or extraordinary. Because in the end, they all bled the same red, and they all deserved someone willing to fight for their life.